Hi.
Hello.
May you introduce yourself?
Sure, my name is Cassandra Woody, and I get to play the role of the mother to Krystal in Through Krystal's Eyes.
What has been your experience so far with the play, the production?
I've had the benefit of being a part of the play from, I guess, the conception of it when our great producers and directors had gotten together and they did a table read. I got an opportunity to be a part of the table read and add some business aspect to it, weigh in on some different ideas for them to be able to incorporate different ways to manage the play and be able to move it forward. So it's been a very interesting ride thus far.
So, what do you know about domestic violence? Have you ever experienced?
Unfortunately, I have. At a very young age, I was married to my daughter's father, and I unfortunately experienced domestic violence while I was pregnant with my daughter up until the age of her turning 2, when I eventually found the strength that I needed to be able to leave the situation. And it wasn't just a situation, it was a complete life, because I was married and he was my daughter's father, and I was young, unemployed, inexperienced, unlearned in so many different areas, and ultimately afraid. But I knew that if I had not left, who would take care of my daughter, because he would have eventually killed me. And it was a situation that I definitely needed to get out of. And I remember, it's clear as day today that I told God, if you got me out of the situation, I would never go back. And I did just that and haven't turned back since.
Awesome. So you found the strength to leave. Why do you think some people don't leave?
A number of reasons. It could be you're married, and for me it was different because I was in a church, right? So it's like, and I came from a church that believed in one wife, one husband, till death do you part, regardless of what. And I mean, I'm 19 years old, I'm married with a baby, and my husband's kicking my butt. What do I do? And it was, the encouragement from my mother and the support that I received from my family that assisted me. But sometimes people don't have that. They don't have a mother to go to. They don't have sisters to be with them. They don't have, any support. And support is a huge thing, because when you're in a relationship that involves domestic violence, it breaks you down in so many areas, emotionally, physically, mentally, financially. And it's hard. It's hard to keep a roof over your head. It's hard to provide food. And don't add children into the equation, because then now you have an additional mouth to feed. And don't let there be a need for health insurance. The list goes on and on. So oftentimes I believe it just becomes a part of not having the support that you need, someone to strengthen you, to help you as you navigate through that process, because it can be very challenging.
Very good. Can I ask you what advice you would give Krystal and what advice you would give the mom?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what advice would you give Krystal?
As her mom in the play, I would love on her and tell her, like, regardless of what happened, what you've experienced, I'm going to always be here. I could never take away the pain that you're feeling, but I could definitely comfort you through it. Prayer does change things, and time definitely heals all wounds. And be good to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. Allow yourself to say, like, I've made this mistake, but to also forgive yourself and move on. And you can move on. Like, this is not the end all and the be all to your life. You're young. You can definitely make it. There's plenty of women that have trailblazed ahead of you, and they have the opportunity to do things differently, and you can definitely do things differently.
Very good. What can I ask you another question? What do you hope the audience will take away from this play?
I really hope that it brings a sense of awareness to domestic violence, and I think oftentimes people downplay it and they're like, oh, it's just another battered girl, but it's a real situation nowadays when we're dealing with the issues, especially in the Black community, about mental health and bringing that awareness level to it. I think it's very important, and I hope that it helps break the cycle. There is an ongoing cycle in our community about domestic violence. One push, one shove turns into a lot of shoves, a lot of pushes, knock down the steps. And I mean, it just escalates depending on the situation. But it definitely needs to be addressed. It's something that needs to be, dispelled and completely kicked out. And eradicated, because it's a cycle that never ends, and our children suffer from it. You know, we raise our children in that, so then we wonder why little Johnny grows up to be a batterer, because he was battered and witnessed someone else in his family being battered. So it just seems like learned behavior, and it seems natural, and it seems normal. So I would hope that someone who sees it has the strength to stand up and say, you know what, there's something going on in this situation that is not right. I can lend an ear, I can lend support in some way, some shape or form, to assist someone else to help themselves out of that.
Okay. Thank you, Kassandra.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Actor.
Did you know that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced domestic violence by an intimate partner?
First, so they live a lie. Is that right? I know the pain that you feel inside watching these days of demise. Through the Krystal's eyes, either the hate or the love blind. Truth hurts, so they live a lie. Is that right? I know the pain that you feel inside watching these days of demise. Through Krystal's eyes. War, pregnant, getting drug on the floor. Your house ain't a home no more, can't take it no more.